it's a game, but it's not fair. I break the rules, so I don't care. So I keep doing my own thing, walking tall against the rain.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a special segment with Voices of Women of Color. It has come to our attention lately that people in the city of Hartford have been imposturing the voices of women of color, going around saying that we are endorsing certain candidates, which is not true. So we decided to get together and introduce all our voices that work in the city of Hartford. And I, Carla Williams, am president of the Voices of Women of Color. So we're going to go around and we're going to introduce our ladies. Then I have a few things to say about our work and our ethics and our integrity in the city of Hartford. So I'm going to go to my right.
Rosalind, Elderly Outreach.
Shonda, Community Service Investigator.
Evelyn, Outreach Recruiter.
Amber, IRB Certified Researcher and Database Analyst.
Kayla, IRB Certified Researcher and Data Analyst.
Robin, Greater Hartford, Windsor, and Bloomfield Outreach Coordinator.
Tina, Foot Soldier for Garden Street area, for the north end of Garden Street. I'm also working Barber Street and Capon Street and all the north end.
Maria, Outreach Coordinator.
Denise, Leadership Recruiter. And Cynthia, Outreach Coordinator.
And you also know our founder, CEO, Janice Fleming. Now, there's one thing that the Voices do not do. We do not go out and ask for money. We do not door knock after 8 p.m. And we do not work on people we have not endorsed or who has not came and had an interview with us. We will be working and endorsing and campaigning for Andrea Como for City Council and Stan McCauley for Mayor. That's who we're going with, and that's who we'll be working with. I have a little bit to say as far as people saying that they were our what would we call that? Deputy manager. Tiny Cooper has never been or will be a Voices of Women of Color. Her integrity does not fit with the Voices of Women of Color. So she's never going to be or will be a Voices of Women of Color. I think she actually owes the Voices an apology for the stunt that she pulled. I'm just going to say that much for Tani. State Representative Doug McCory has not been involved with Voices of Women of Color. The only time he was involved with Voices of Women of Color when we helped him with his campaign, which he still owes us $5,500. Could you pay us up, please?
Thank you.
We will try to do the best possible job we can for Andrea and Stan, as we always do. We door knock in the south end, the north end, the west end, and obviously all over the city of Hartford. So we want to get out there. We want to tell people that the Voices of Women of Color, we are here as one group, one organization of women, all different kinds of women of color. Sylvia Noriega, who cannot be here, is our office assistant. Brittany Robinson, who will be Voices working through Arizona chapter of Voices of Women of Color.
We got our Peru chapter.
We have our Peru chapter, our Bosnian chapter, our Colombian chapter of Voices of Women of Color. So there is a lot of Voices of Women of Color. We also have Denise Walton, who's in Wisconsin. There will be a chapter of Voices of Women of Color in 2012. If you have any questions about what I just said or any comments about what I just said, you could call me. My number is 860-8110-1145. I will say that again, 860-810-1145. We try to work in the city of Hartford and give the people in the city of Hartford an opportunity to work, volunteer, vote, and we find employment for people that don't have employment. So the dollars that we make, when we do get dollars, we share them with the whole community. That's our mission. That's our statement. That's all I have to say for this evening. I'm going to have Janice come over and say something. But as for now, these are our voices. We are the voices of women of color. Here you go. Take this to the ladies. And also, let's not forget our president, Donna Markell, who's a professor at Trinity College that could not be here tonight because she's doing a class. So, hello, Donna.
Hello,
we love
Donna. You got Sylvia, who's not here.
I said Sylvia.
Yeah.
We have Sylvia Noriega, who's our office assistant. We have a lot of women that could not be here this evening, of all different ethnic backgrounds, economic backgrounds, and social backgrounds. So when you see the voices, know that we stand for integrity, strength, and our vision is anything is possible if you just change within yourself. So here's Janice.
Well, I don't know what she want me to say. She done said everything.
Sound like she shut them down.
Well, I think what Carla is saying is that we've had some situations where last week there was someone out door knocking, and unfortunately when you get to a door and try to say you're voices of women of color, you may be confronted with the voices of women of color. So that's risky business. And this person who was door knocking was intoxicated, and was asking for money.
Yes.
And to that degree, this had to be addressed. We've also been in some meeting with folks that we do other campaigns with in other cities who had talked to us about some other stuff that Carla felt the need to address. But that's not my job, that's her job. My job is to solidify where we are politically in terms of candidates. As Carla has said thus far, we've seen a lot of candidates, quite frankly. It's quite sad. We have candidates who don't know 5 nonprofits in the city of Hartford. We have candidates who can't remember the last time they allocated something to some. We just have had some really poor candidates, and then we've had really impressive candidates. However, to this point right now, Stan is our mayor candidate. Everyone knows we have that commitment, and those who try to say differently know better. And Andrea Coma, who is a Voices of Women of Color, so that's a no-brainer, right? And so those are the only two. Usually the Voices of Women of Color would have made their decisions by now. We're not. We probably won't even take in any more candidates for the municipal race because we don't like to wait too long to educate the voter. Here you have a primary at September 13th, and you have candidates who can't figure out how to get their team together, their message together, their fundraising together, because we all know that the Voices of Women of Color do not volunteer for politicians. We've clarified that last shows, many of them ago. Unfortunate for some, fortunate for others. It is what it is. We knock on a lot of doors. We need to be paid for that. So, and I won't feel guilty about that. I actually put an article in the Hartford News about that because that came up too. You all will be outdoor knocking in 90-degree weather and not missing a door on the street, while some others will take walk sheets and act like they're doing the work. You will actually be doing the work. I will be busy. I'm creating our class, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all do fantastic work like you've been doing. And we will not tolerate anybody out in the community saying that they're one of us
and discrediting our name.
We won't have that.
We won't have that. We work too hard. We work too hard. We started out with 3 women in a living room, not liking what was going on in the city of Hartford, and we said it was time for some change. And I also want to mention Tracy Walker, which is one of our original Voices of Women of Color, and will always be a Voices of Women of Color. And hey Tracy, And so we will not have people out there discrediting our name, writing bad articles about us until you come and you get to know us and you come to our grassroots office and you see the work that we do and the outcome that we put out. We work hard. We work in rain, sleet, snow, heat storms, hail, and that's what we do. We're here for the people, and we're here for our communities. And we're here for our children and our grandchildren and our nieces and nephews. So we will not have people discrediting us and trying to talk bad about us. So that's why we had this little segment today, so we can clarify a couple of things with the people in the city of Hartford as us being the voices of women of color.
Well, particularly for the residents who trust us.
Especially for the residents who trust us.
And our supporters.
And our supporters.
We don't need them calling us saying, where's Carla? I got somebody talking about she voices of women of color and she drunk. Right? That don't work for us because they know we know better. And we representing our clients as well, and to that degree we owe it to our clients to be classy.
To do the best job that we possibly can, and we have done that up to so far. We have done that up to date.
And you guys are doing an awesome job. Amber and Kayla is completing, working with Sarah Diamond and UConn, putting the final touches on the grant for Voices of Women of Color pilot project. Kayla, Amber, y'all want to tell the Voices where y'all at with this so far? No, y'all want to talk about it?
Well, currently we have done our focus groups with women of color discussing HIV and AIDS in our community. And right now we are encrypting our data and getting notes and research on what we have come up with. And we plan on furthering our research and collecting more data and building our database with more women of color throughout the community to create this grant and create a social network where we can deliver positive messages to women of color to get information on testing and STDs and HIV in our community.
Excellent. That's good.
Amber, you doing the transcribing as well?
No, we're not transcribing. We actually have a young man who's attending UConn right now, and he's transcribing for us. Kayla met him. She said he's a nice individual. So he's doing our transcribing, but there's also another person on our research project because the original person decided they no longer wanted to be part of it. So we have a new person on the team.
Okay, and that's from the doctor side, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
and we also have Robin, who's in Baltimore right now getting her master's, so she could come back to the state of Connecticut and do good work with the public. And Robin, what are you mastering? What's going to be your master?
I'm getting my master's in social work.
Okay, so you're getting your MSW. Plus, Robin, we need to talk about Windsor and Bloomfield's happening municipal race. That's what you take care of that anyway. So before you leave, let's talk about what that looks like. So I think we're pretty much finished. Andrea Comer it is. I'm very excited about that. Stan McCauley, I'm very excited about that. Let's just do what we have to do. The only way you women will continue to have people talking about you is to continue to outwork folks.
And continue to do the great work you ladies have been doing. I want to thank you. I also want to make a correction with my number. It's actually 860-810-1185. That's 860-810-1185. And I also want to say that our mission statement is to come together as voices of women of color in one community and one voice for the liberation of all oppressed people. So when we're out there working, we're working for everybody in the city of Hartford. We're working on education, housing, employment, and public health. That's our mission, to better the city of Hartford with the right candidates for the job. So everyone have a good evening. Thank you for watching and listening to us. Peace out.
All right.
Thank you.